You might be feeling kind of overwhelmed with the constant bombardment of new AI research and update like these ones. This paper just murdered the foundation of every AI model you've ever used. Ilya Sutskever left OpenAI after submitting an internal paper to the board. RIP basic prompting. DeepMind just did the unthinkable. Holy, everybody been prompting LM wrong and it's costing them 66% of the model creative potential. Whew! Well, you're not alone. And last week, I officially had my breaking point. Like I legitimately snapped and I was pissed off. Yeah. So let me explain. One of the core reasons why keeping up with AI feels so exhausting right now and what you can do to not lose your mind as I did. But before that, if you are a very early beginner in the whole world of like AI and programming, I highly recommend checking out Brilliant, which is kindly sponsoring this mental breakdown of a video. Brilliant is a website with lots of interactive bite-sized lesson and problems to solve. They got quite a few interesting beginner topics if you want to refresh or supplement your learning across math, programming, and even LM stuff. I've gone through their programming course and it's very good introduction to the material. I personally like how it was structured around like making microprogram without overwhelming the beginner with all the jargon. It's bite-sized, so you can crack a few thousand drilled questions pretty smoothly, which was super useful in between reconsidering all of my life choices after reading these tweets I just showed. So do check out the link in the description to test it out for 30 days and to get 20% off an annual subscription. Let me illustrate to you what is happening at the moment with like the perfect example. We'll go step by step in my whole journey so that you can truly understand my frustration. The backstory is that I read this fascinating recent paper about recursive language model, RLM, from Alex L. Zhang. So long story short, the method allows a pre-trained LM to use a REPL environment to manage its own context efficiently, enabling the context window to kind of scale to millions of tokens without degradation. I read the paper in depth and it was amazing. I was even able to get the first author to agree to an interview about this paper. I spent the whole weekend studying the material, which included the paper, the blog posts from the authors, and the detailed reproduction blog post from Primatellect. Then I prepared a lot of questions to ask in the interview, and I even polled the community to get like really good questions. I then did a whole live walkthrough of the method. Then I spent like a solid an hour and 30 minutes with the first author discussing the paper in depth and the implication of the method for what we're going to see in 2026. Overall, I think it was one of my best content that I put out there. So a few days later, I was scrolling Twitter and I saw this post, this one, with nearly 1 million views and thousands of likes about the RLM topic. And I can't even begin to state how god-awful it is. Like, there is no part of this post that is remotely salvageable. So let's look at this tweet step by step, right? So, RIP basic prompting, okay, that's the hook, good. MIT just dropped a technique that makes ChatGPT reason like a team of experts instead of one overconfident intern. It's called recursive metacognition, got the name wrong, and that performs standard prompt by 110%. Has nothing to do, this number doesn't appear in the paper. Here's the prompt and why it changed everything. And then it goes on to say, the problem with how you prompt AI, you ask one question, I give you one answer, it's wrong, you never know. Okay? It's like asking a random person on the street for medical advice and just trusting them. No second opinion, no fact checking, no confidence level. It's not the right paper that it's talking about. It has the image of the RLM, but it's not the right stuff. And then it goes on and on saying like, what if AI could check its own work from multiple angles before giving you an answer? Then it says that the technique combined 5 things most prompt ignore, a bunch of stuff. And it says that with this framework, I break it down, verify each piece, tell you where it's uncertain. And then it's talking about like confidence scoring, pat below 0.4, pat above 0.8. And then the multi-perspective, check, catch error before they reach you. Does the logic actually hold? Are the fact grounded? Is anything missing? Are there hidden assumption? This has nothing to do at all with the paper. Like 0%. And then it says, I've tested this on business strategy, technical debugging, research synthesis, investment analysis. Of course not. You didn't do that. This is automated bullshit. And at the end, you put the source. You didn't even read the source, man. What is this? 2.7 million views. Like, people look at this they got nothing out of it. Like they got negative value out of it. They're worse off than if you didn't like even look at the tweet. And then there's another tweet that was a bit prior to that, which was even dumber in some sense. It says, DeepMind just did the unthinkable, right? There's no one in this paper that is from DeepMind. There's 0%. It's MIT folks. There were multiple call-out from the first author who was like truly confused about the situation. First, for the DeepMind stuff, about the first tweet that it was like mentioning his work, and then the second one that was just like complete steaming pile of garbage. Now, you might say, who cares, right? Just a tweet, life goes on, right? The issue is a bit deeper than that one post. If you look at the quoted tweet on this thing, I took the full paper and fed it into the Superpower framework, an open source workflow for AI coding agent built on Decomposer scale. The result, a fully functional Claude scale that implements recursive metacognition directly into Cloud Code. It's not the stuff. And then there's another guy that says prompting is now the most important programming language. I built a personal system prompt switcher to compare how good this prompt actually is about this paper. It's not even about the paper, like it's something else. It's like some, yeah man, like it just like nonsense after nonsense. There's CEO of company Paul Su of like Decasonic that is like saying God of prompt below share the underlying research why this form, like the tweet is being recycled into other tweet now to talk about this not real idea and actually like mixed up idea about other stuff. And it's still going like a week later. There's another one, another massive account, AI Highlight, that is now pushing this even further, right? And just like regurgitating like this garbage thing that is not even right. It's like doing the same thing this automated AI system was supposed to do on the paper. This thing is doing it on the thread. But it's wrong. But now it's wrong in a different way. Like, what are we doing? This is this mess, right? Before you know it, like this garbage here will go on LinkedIn and will be even more drifted further away from the source material. There is a clear pattern right now of this happening like day in, day out across social at varying level of like absolutely ridiculous fake urgency. Claiming that you must read this article, or actually that you must read this tweet that we prepared for you based on the article, or like your life will end and you will suck. Or that like there's a new method that is putting like death to RAG or prompt engineering, or like you're gonna get left behind if you don't read like this dinky article that we put behind a gated wall about whatever woo method that just came out that is not even the real thing. Why the hell is this happening? I hear you say. Let me tell you what the core issue is here. And it's pretty simple, right? It's straight up just money. It's the AI influencer here that are at fault 100%. Like it's 100% on them. There's a lot of stuff going on right now these days on like the AI side. It's attracting the attention of like three key forces. There's the research community, the industry, and a massive amount of white collar workers of various level of technical ability, which are ultimately user of AI. This trifecta of attention means that there is an unfathomable amount of money being poured into the big AI labs, the existing tech company that are switching to be AI first, and into like new AI native startup. These companies have to spend money to grow their user base of white collar worker, since it's in a hot VC subsidized market. And the only thing that matters is the growth curve. To attract user, they need to hook into where these users' attention is already concentrated into, which is around AI research. The research in AI, and generally speaking, like computer science in general, is a bit special compared to like all the other scientific field for multiple reasons. First, it's kind of fast to go from having an idea to like getting preliminary result, because like computers are everywhere and you can just test stuff. The other thing is that the research is usually not very gated at all. Like sharing result as a preprint is the norm, and even as blog post when like some stuff that are interesting are found. Which, by the way, is exactly what happened with the RLM. Alex shared this initial result in October of 2025, and it's like roughly the skeleton of the paper. Now, you couple this reality of research with the fact that there's a heckload of money invested in the commercialization of AI, and you get the rise of the AI influencers, which sole purpose is to garner influence over the research content and monetize the influence with businesses that want to sell their AI product. It's like the perfect storm. The white collar worker are very interested in learning about AI. Like it might change their job and stuff like that. The company have money to spend to attract user. Like they need to actually spend this money in sales and marketing. And the research community is producing an ever-growing source of ungated technical content with deep information in it that attract the white collar worker. Now the white collar worker won't spend like all their days reading like a 15 pages technical report. Like they don't have time for that. So it's a perfect situation for the AI influencer to sit right in the middle of all this. Here's the recipe, by the way, if you're interested in becoming like an AI influencer. So here's the recipe. So first off, the AI influencer need to figure out where the content that has the most in it hype potential is being produced, right? And you need to come there early, because if they come too late, everybody already is aware of this, and like there's less hype and there's less growth for their account. Tech Twitter is generally a good place because like the researchers are posting about their stuff, and then if you are following the right people, you'll be able to see them bubble up. Hugging Face paper, the website is also pretty good because people can vote on the paper. Or I Can Use also is pretty good because there's like a type of ranking mechanism for the technical content over there. And the second step is that you need to summarily hype the new research, right? As ridiculously as possible, irrespective if you understand it or not, because of course you're not going to read it, right? There's too many stuff to read and it's too technical. You're not going to spend like a weekend reading this stuff. What are you thinking, right? So they will have to rush to do that because other people will try to hype it up, right? And if they hype it before you, they're going to get the most hype and then they're going to grow their account. Now that you have a bigger audience, because you will get people, right? Like you can get like the lost people at the first, but now that you reach a bigger audience, you're gonna start to receive deals directly to usually monetize your following, to shout out some like random AI company in various ways, and even bigger kind of company. I know that because I receive the same deals on my email to make posts on Twitter and LinkedIn, which I never do, and I see like verbatim the suggested post, right? And then they say like, hey, for $500, can you post this? And then like you're gonna like hype this stuff up without even understanding what the hell they're doing, right? So it doesn't matter because that's the whole purpose of this. Now, right, monetizing your reach, in my opinion, is fair game. It's okay, right? It's something I just literally did in this video with Brilliant, where you can check out the link in the description to test it out for 30 days and get 20% off an annual subscription. Thank you, Brilliant, again for sponsoring this mess. However, at the very least, the base source material that you're monetizing upon need to provide some sort of basic value for the viewer. Otherwise, it's like a random noodle soup of words. It's like they mean nothing. Like this thing is not even the right paper. It's all mixed up. So yeah, it's a bit of a sad state of affair, right? But like, if you think about it, the incentives are all there for this type of weird niche research disinformation posts to be created for absolutely no useful reason other than like monetization of hype. Okay, so that's fun. Now you might be wondering what we do from here. First off, you have to understand that this type of like noisy slop will always exist from now on, and it's going to get like much worse. It's just like a reality over time. If we didn't have these AI systems, it would be very hard to do that sort of stuff, right? But now we have them, and you can just like make a pipeline and just make it okay, and it will process this and like post it out there. And then there is incentive to make the claim as ridiculous as possible and as urgent as possible, because that's what will attract your attention. This is the only thing that matters. So if you see something being hyped a lot, don't be stressed out, slow down. What I do is I personally keep a backlog of things I want to dig into that are like suspiciously too hyped up, and then I just like take the time to go through them in depth. Which is the second thing, right? You should get educated deeply about AI subject. Like, don't just like scheme stuff and like, don't just read these tweets and be like, ooh, the recursive metacognition framework. What the fuck is this? AI is there to stay, right? Like we all agree here, like the LM will not disappear, and there is still massive room for improvement, right? Like whatever you think it's going to lead to AGI or not is like, we're still going to improve this stuff. I think that it's fair that you should be educated about how these systems work. It's a very good use of your time because then you will understand as they become more and more ubiquitous. Third, you need to find like direct source of knowledge. Folks who are actually like researcher, educator in the field, like that goes in depth in the material. And usually they have less interesting stuff because we're not gonna hype like everything all the time. Sometimes we're like, yeah, this thing is a piece of trash and it doesn't work. And that's that. Like this is the reality. It's try to avoid as much as possible like people just regurgitating information or like account that are just summarizing stuff, because if there's something is wrong at the base level, it will be wrong still at top level, but differently type of wrong. And you will see like when you hit the direct source, like the vibes are just like way different, more chill, more also interesting and engaging than this surface level like a soup of danger and like, watch out, you have to be careful about this and that. And lastly, like if you're really into like AI and stuff and you want to learn, find knowledgeable peers and just like network with them and chat with them. One thing that was nice with this like pile of garbage post was that I found like quite a lot of people that I already knew from the tech community, which had the same exact reaction as I was and being a bit confused, like, hey, are you sure you didn't like you read the same paper, because it doesn't seem like it, like, which kind of reaffirmed that I was not fucking losing it yet.